Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm ready to watch this Stop Mind Chattering Gaur thus. So, I will say, whenever I looked at the title, I was thinking, my mind chatters a lot, but I don't think I should be stopping my mind chatter though, only because then I'll be fighting my mind. I can't quite control my mind. It will always chatter, but I am able to observe, in some sense, to some degree, my thoughts. Not all the time, but I think that's what I'm working towards, is to be able to merely observe my thoughts, and or to perhaps even, in a sense, ignore it, where it's still going on, but I'm just not aware of it. But yes, and in that way, I'm not fighting my mind and my thoughts, but perhaps to the point where maybe I ignore it, or I am simply just aware or paying no attention to it, that it quiets itself. So I'm not fighting against it, but it will just calm itself after a while of ignoring it in some sense. But let's hear what it has to say.
An artist once came to a king who was a great admirer of art and said, "O king, if you give me a blank wall in your palace, I can create a spectacular painting on it." Just then another young man who was present there said to the king, "Your Majesty, please allow me to work on the opposite wall as well. I am an artist too." The king asked the young man, "And what would you like to make?" The man said, "I shall make an exact replica of the painting that the other artist makes on the wall opposite to mine, and I shall do so without even looking at his work. I would request you to place a thick curtain between the two walls so that neither of us can see the other's work, and also have guards to make sure there's no cheating." Everyone in the court, including the king, was
Hmm.
intrigued, and the king decided to give both artists the opportunity to show their talent. The following day, a thick curtain was put in place, and both the artists started their work. The first artist brought paints and oils and brushes that he worked with. The second one worked simply with a cloth and a bucket of water. After a month, the first artist told the king that his work was complete. And when the king asked the second artist when would his work be done, the young man replied that he was done too. The
Okay.
king came to the palace and went on to see the first artist's wall. He was stunned by the spectacular painting and gave the artist a hefty sum as a reward. He then asked for the curtain to be opened up to see if the second artist had met up with the challenge of creating the exact same painting without seeing it.
It's weird, the audio just kind of dropped there.
The curtain opened, and lo and behold, on the opposite wall was an exact replica of the painting. Every single line, every single color, every minor detail was exactly as it was on the first wall. The king rewarded the man with double the amount of money, but being amused, wanted to know his secret.
Indeed.
The young artist replied, "It was very simple, Your Majesty. I just polished the marble wall every day until it shone like a mirror to reflect the painting on the opposite wall. Often, people come up to me and complain that they lack confidence, that they don't think they have any talent, that they lack motivation. And I tell them that all of these are a part of you. The hard work is cleaning the wall of your mind in a way that what's hidden deep within you, your talent, your positivity, your confidence, your goodness, is reflected in your mind and thus in your actions. And then you can indeed achieve something Spectacular! Don't they say that the soul knows how to heal itself? The challenge is to silence the mind. And one of the ways to silence the mind's negative chatter is to neglect it. Sometimes a little child who gets just a little hurt starts crying aloud. If the mother pays attention, the child cries louder. But if she ignores the child, knowing well that there's nothing serious, the child's crying slowly dies down. Exactly in the same way, if we pay attention to the negative chatter of the mind, it gets louder. But if we try to ignore it, it slowly dies down. And how does one ignore that chatter? By absorbing the mind in positive energy, reading, hearing, or watching positive stuff, hanging out with positive people. And then, as the mind becomes slowly cleansed, the beautiful painting within you will be reflected on it.
Interesting. I didn't think I was going to go there with, ignoring the mind. But obviously, it's very difficult if you still have this mentality that I am the mind, or you and the mind are somewhat the same. So definitely, again, spirituality here will help in terms of understanding that you are not the mind, or at the very least, understand that your thoughts and yourself are different. You are not the thoughts, and I think that can even be understood without knowing Hinduism or Advaita Vedanta or spiritualism in general, because obviously you are not the thoughts. Even if you consider yourself, you are the mind, and but you can still see the separation in terms of that. Yeah, you are the mind, but you're not the thoughts. But the thoughts are in your mind. So how does that work? But yeah, I think even Westerners or people who don't follow this ways of lives can understand that, maybe you are somewhat the mind because they don't believe in or well, they believe that they're part of the mind. They are the mind, but they don't believe that they are the thoughts. So there's at least that way of separation. That's how I kind of separated my thoughts and myself, and my emotions and myself to some degree, very much so. Ever since, again, college days, Buddhism, I learned that everything is suffering. I was able to kind of, not completely at all, but just at least understand the world and detach my emotions from myself. The smaller emotional parts, but the bigger ones are much more difficult, which I can't. But yes, I was able to separate, my thoughts a little bit and my emotions. Thoughts were not necessarily too hard. I just understand my mind just rambles. But anyways, I was wondering about the story he had here.
To see the first artists.
Hold on. Because it didn't make sense. I thought there was like, here's the wall, there's one artist here and there's one artist here. But now it sounds like there's two walls and a curtain in the middle. And then the two walls, and then the artists are right here with the curtain in the middle. Then okay, it makes sense. But I thought I was thinking one wall and artists here and here. Let's hear how this set up. It's pretty. I mean, the stories are pretty cool and very interesting and informative.
Was present there said to the king, "Your Majesty, please allow me to work on the opposite wall as well. I am an artist too."
Wall. Here's someone with the opposite of this wall. That's what I was thinking, but no, it's wall, and the opposite is across the ways. So he polished a marble. That's why I was a bit confused. Like, what? How did you match it perfectly? Oh, you polished a marble. What is that supposed to look like? I thought he grinded down the stone until it reveals the other side. There's a thin layer or something. I don't know. It's really weird. Anyways, that's my reaction to Stop Minds Chatter. I'm going to go all go Paradas. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.